And good morning. This is the Home-Based Business Success Podcast. We'll be right at it in just a moment. And good morning. This is Ralph Lindy from ralphlindy.com and the Home-Based Business Success Podcast. Today we're going to take a look at expanding your comfort zone. Seems like people have a lot of reasons for not succeeding, for really not wanting to push ahead. We've got fear of failure. We got some people who are afraid of success. And I think a lot of this can really be rolled up into one major category, and we're going to call that fear of change. You know, fear of failure, fear of success. What is that really? I think that's an indication that a person is stuck inside their comfort zone, and they're afraid of getting out of their comfort zone. They are so comfortable in their comfort zone, they don't want anything to change. And one classic example of this type of thinking, it's from an old movie. And I can't really remember the title of it, but I remember the line. I'm thinking it might be Office Space, where the main character is stuck in a job that he hates. And he's talking to a friend, and the friend says, "Hey man, if you hate your job so much, why don't you just find another job?" And the guy answers, there's only one thing worse than having a job that you hate. And that's having to go out and look for another job. And this character was just so stuck in his rut. You could say he was afraid of change. He didn't like the job that he had, but he didn't like the idea of going out and finding another job. And maybe part of that fear was kind of wrapped up in the idea that he had no idea what kind of another job he would find. And maybe he was thinking in terms of it's better to keep the devil you know rather than accept the devil that you don't know. But life is all about change. We, as human beings, we want to stay within our comfort zone, but eventually, sooner or later, life is going to force us out of that comfort zone. Nothing stays the same forever. We have a world of constant change, but the typical human being likes their comforts, and they like things the way that they are. And change is something that forces us out of our comfort zone. But yet, we have to accept change, because eventually change is going to force us to move whether we like it or not. So, what is the answer here? We don't want to change. We're afraid of change. We don't want to move ahead because either fear of failure, fear of success, or just basically fear of change. We want to stay within our comfort zone. So what are our options? What can we do? And there is a concept, an idea, a practice called expanding your comfort zone that can help you to accept change far more creatively and help you to push the boundaries in your own life, in your own comfort zone. We don't have to stay within the same comfort zone, but we do have to kind of push the boundaries and expand our comfort zone. A concrete example of this is something that I did last year. Actually, it was last fall, and we had a leaky roof. And I'm afraid of heights. I don't know when that happened to me. As a kid, I used to climb trees that were like 4 times the size of our current home. But I never had a problem with it. But then, adulthood set in, and I became, might as well say about 130 pounds overweight. And I'm 5 pounds lighter this morning, thank the universe. But no, somewhere along the line, I became deathly afraid of heights. And last fall, I knew, okay, we had a leaky roof. The roof had been leaking for a long time. I ordered in the roofing tar, all the materials I would need to fix that leak in the roof. And I have a ladder. I built my own ladder to save a little bit of money on buying a $300 aluminum ladder. Just built my own out of wood and coated it, and just got all my tools lined out and got all my roofing materials ready. But it came to the point where that one day arrived where I could not put off the getting up on top of the roof any longer. And I had to push myself outside of my comfort zone. And I wanted to do it in a gradual way where I would be expanding my comfort zone and be working my way up to the point where I was no longer so afraid of heights that getting up 15 feet in the air would be a big deal for me. I wanted to learn how to not be such a scaredy cat when it came to getting on top of my own roof and doing needed maintenance. So what I did to push myself outside my comfort zone, besides putting things off as long as I could, that's not really a good practice there. But what I did is that I got the ladder, put it up against the house, and then I decided, okay, I got my tools ready on the ground. And then I decided, okay, it's time to put them up on the roof. So I would take my tools, one or two at a time, got the bucket of tar, climbed up on the ladder, and then gently set it on top of the roof, leaving enough room for me, of course, and then descended down the ladder, and then found my brush and some other tools, and picked those up, took them up to the roof, and then placed them right next to the tar bucket. And then I climbed back down again, back onto the ground, took a few deep breaths. I'd had 2 ascents, and it hadn't killed me yet, so I was starting to get my confidence up a little bit. And then I thought, okay, what am I going to need? For about maybe an hour and a half, I really had no idea how long I would be up on the roof. I really didn't know exactly what I would find up there. So I thought, okay, I'm going to need my smartphone in case any clients call. If I'm stuck up on the roof, I want to be able to take phone calls. So I put my smartphone in my little pouch that I wear around my neck when I'm doing stuff, and started to climb up on top of the roof, and then realized, okay, what if somebody calls? What if a client wants to talk or schedule an appointment, and I've got tar all over my fingers? How am I going to answer the phone? So I decided, okay, before I get up on top of the roof, I am going to take a roll of paper towels and some paint thinner, take that up on top of the roof too, and be all set. So, okay. I got that up on top of the roof, then I came back down to the ground, looked around, kind of thought, okay, what else am I going to need in order to do this roof maintenance? And after a few minutes of consideration, I came to the conclusion that the only thing else I needed on top of that roof was me. So, after having 3 or 4 ascents up on the ladder, I decided, okay, this was going to be the big one. I was going to take that small step for Ralph and swing myself over from the ladder on top of the roof and just do what needed to be done. And so I got up my courage, climbed up that ladder a 5th time, and then made that one small step for Ralph and one giant leap for roof repair, and swung myself off the ladder onto the roof and started walking around. And it felt rather good. And I got to the point where once I was comfortable on the ground, Now my comfort zone had been expanded. I was comfortable walking on top of that roof. And I walked over, got my tar, found the place where the roof was leaking, and it was an obvious leaked spot, really. It was a repair I had done up there, about 20 years ago, and it had fallen apart, so it needed to be redone. So that's pretty much what I thought I might see, so I just got the tar, got my brush, sat down, and tarred around that area, cleaned off the old patch, put on a new patch, and then after I had tarred it a little bit, I began to just sit there and watch the tar and see how it was hardening. And I realized then at that point, okay, I was comfortable walking on top of the roof. I was comfortable working on top of the roof. Now I had to expand my comfort zone a little bit further. I had to get comfortable with walking back over to that ladder and swinging myself from the roof to the ladder and then taking everything back to the ground. I really don't know what it is, because the ladder that I built was heavy. I mean, it is heavy. It's a heavy booger. It's about, I estimate its weight to be around 100 pounds, so that sucker is not going anywhere. Once it gets carried into place, it's stuck in place. It's a good, heavy wooden ladder. So nothing to be afraid of there. So, yeah. But I did have this fear of moving from the ladder to the roof, and then my next big fear was moving from the roof to the ladder. So what I did is I just sat there on the roof for a couple of minutes, got my breath, took a few deep breaths, and decided, okay, this isn't going to hurt me. This isn't going to kill me. I don't know why I'm so afraid of this, but I'm going to go over there and just get back on that ladder and start carrying all this stuff back down. So I did. After about 10 minutes of sitting there on the roof watching tar dry, I mean literally watching tar dry, I then went over to the ladder and swung myself off the roof over onto the ladder, and began the process then of climbing up and down, taking my tools back to the ground. And once I got back on the ground, I figured, this is great. Something I had been putting off, something I had been fearful of for a very long time, I finally did. And I did it in the course of one afternoon. And I thought, okay, I'm going to push myself a little bit further. So I thought towards evening, after the heat of the day was over, I wanted to climb back up onto that roof a final time for that day to see how the tar patch was holding, to see how it was curing, make sure, I didn't have to do anything else. And I went ahead and did that, and that final ascent up that ladder with no tools, with no real agenda, just really to push myself and to check the quality of my work, but also to push myself to get up on that roof one final time to check things out. That was the easiest ascent of the day, because I had succeeded in pushing myself outside my comfort zone and expanding my comfort zone to where I was not only comfortable on terra firma, right on the ground, I was also comfortable going up and down the ladder, and I was also comfortable going from the ladder to the roof, and I was very comfortable walking up on the roof, as long as I didn't look over the edge and just see how far down the ground was. But, that tells me, in order to expand my comfort zone and to continue to expand my comfort zone, all I really have to do is just push it. A little bit every day. Push the envelope. Push the boundaries. My comfort zone says go this far and no further. Just go a little bit further. And just take stock, just check. Did that kill me? Did this put me in a bad situation? Or is this practice actually helping me to move forward, to go from stuck to unstuck in really anything in life? And that experience really taught me that if I was going up onto the roof, once or twice a year, instead of once or twice a decade, to check things out, do roof maintenance and home maintenance up above there, that my comfort zone would be expanded greatly. And if I was climbing up ladders and walking on roofs every day instead of, once or twice a year, doing it once or twice a week or even every day, my comfort zone would be expanded accordingly. And eventually I would get used to doing that sort of work. So what is the practical application of this story to being a home-based entrepreneur, to wanting to make it in your home-based business, to wanting to make it in network marketing, affiliate marketing, whatever it is you want to do in home-based business? Well, if your comfort zone is telling you that it's best not to talk business to people, it's best just to keep it light and airy on social media, it's best not to message people on social media, it's best not to talk to people face to face about your business, if that's your comfort zone, then there is really no way that your business is going to grow very fast or very well. In order for your business to grow, you have to become comfortable talking to people. And I don't mean in a salesy way, but just talking to people, letting them know that you have your business, seeing if there's anything that you can do to help them, and just talking to people to find out what their problems are and if you might have any solutions to their problems. And then if you do, then you might be able to make a sale. You can definitely make a connection either way. But if your comfort zone is telling you not to go out there and talk to people, that's uncomfortable, that's pushing too far, then what you can do to expand your comfort zone is just make a habit of talking to 2 or 3 people a day. And if that's too scary, talk to 1 a day and just see how it goes. And keep it up. Don't just get a negative experience and quit. Keep it up. If if you make a fool out of yourself one day, you do everything wrong, your brain turns to mush, don't let that bother you. I mean, it's going to bother you, but just don't let it bother you. Just learn from that experience. Tell yourself, okay, this was my first experience reaching out to a potential client and trying to strike up a conversation. I am learning. I am still growing. I am going to get to the point where I can talk to people and not make a fool of myself. So if that's your fear, just approach it that way. Just set aside some time, talk to 1 or 2 people a day, see how it goes, and then the next day, push a little bit harder. Instead of 1 or 2 people, talk to 2 or 3. And then begin to slowly expand your comfort zone. And eventually, you'll be out there talking to 5 or 6 people, or 6 to 7 people, or 10 people. And then you'll be ready on a daily basis, if that's your number, talking to about 10 people a day about your business. Then you might be ready to really expand your comfort zone and to adopt the go for no mindset, the go for no philosophy. And that tells you, okay, you can go out there and you need to hear the word no 10 times. And if somebody says yes, that doesn't count as a no. That might count as a sale. But, you can expand your comfort zone in that way. Start with a small number, something doable, something manageable to you, and then push it accordingly. Or, if you really want to expand your comfort zone very quickly, and I don't recommend this, but this is actually how I got my home-based business started. I just waited in my little comfort zone for years and years and years until life was ready to just push me the heck out of that comfort zone, and I had to get comfortable leaving that comfort zone very, very quickly. But yeah, when your back's against the wall, it's no longer comfortable at all in your comfort zone, and you see your comfort zone disappearing, then you know, I've got to take action. And I got to take immediate action. And I got to just go out there and do whatever it takes. Damn the comfort zone. I got to do whatever it takes to build my business. And sometimes that actually is an advantage to having your back against the wall. Now, if it's avoidable, I don't recommend letting yourself get into this position. But when your back is against the wall, it's sink or swim, you've got to move. Then you'd be surprised at what you actually are capable of doing when you find yourself in that type of situation. And that's how our first home-based business really got off the ground. It was a situation where everything else I had tried had failed, and I was just watching my last job that I was doing for somebody else, watching that fall apart because of gas prices and transportation issues, things of that nature. And I just thought, okay, I've got to break out of this working for somebody else rut and become a home-based entrepreneur. So I sat down, worked out some ideas, made it happen, and it happened. But it was a situation where I'd let myself get so deep in the hole that I had to make it happen. I had to make it work. And thank the universe, it did. But it's a whole lot better, I think, if you're able to push yourself out of your comfort zone and begin to expand your comfort zone before your back does get pushed up against the wall and you are forced to make a move. So if you're facing something that you know you need to do in your business, but you're afraid of making that move, and we can call it fear of failure, fear of success, fear of change, or just the fear of leaving your comfort zone, just set yourself a small yet doable goal of stepping outside of your comfort zone, little by little, inch by inch, and then push yourself, one day to the next. One day go a little bit go a little bit out of your comfort zone. The next day go a little bit further out of your comfort zone. The next day continue to go a little bit out of your comfort zone. And then just take a look at yourself and just ask yourself, okay, where's my comfort zone today? I mean, at the beginning of the week, I was not comfortable talking to anybody about my business. And now this week, I'm talking to 2 people a day, 3 people a day. I'm comfortable with that. How much further can I push my comfort zone? And how much further do I have to go to start making sales, to start becoming profitable in my home-based business, to start becoming a successful entrepreneur? And if you do that, just step by step, inch by inch, with the intention of expanding your comfort zone, realize your comfort zone is there. Realize what it is. It's you holding yourself back because you want to stay in a comfortable spot. But also realize life changes. Everything changes. Life does not remain the same. Your comfort zone is not going to remain the same. And you need to work on expanding your comfort zone. So just keep that in mind and work on expanding in the right direction every single day and testing your comfort zone. And just expand it. Become comfortable doing what previously used to make you sweat. And just keep it up. Keep going. And if you employ this mindset of constantly expanding your comfort zone until you get from point A to point Z, wherever it is you want to go in life, then yeah, you can get there. You can go there. You can become successful. But as long as we stay stuck in a rut and be thinking in terms of that character, I think it was from the movie Office Space, the only thing worse than having a bad life is going out there trying to create a new life. And actually, that's one of the joys of being an entrepreneur, is that we have the power to take a bad life, re-engineer it, redesign it, and create for ourselves and our families a better life. But it takes creative thinking, it takes self-education, reading up, keeping apprised of what opportunities are out there, what opportunities still need to be created, and then educating ourselves so that we can create those opportunities, if we can, to build those businesses, to do what needs to be done to make our lives in our little corner of the world a far better place. But yeah, it's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. We can do that. If we learn how to think outside the box, and if we learn to stop blaming our problems on other people, other folks, situations, circumstances, society, if we learn to start taking responsibility for our own life, our own health, our own happiness, then yeah, we can begin to create a better life. But, we have to face our comfort zone. We have to face our fear of change. And we have to get comfortable with the idea of beginning to make things happen. So that's all for today. Thanks for dropping by. I'm not too sure what we're going to be talking about in the next podcast, but I'm going to close here with a song, Better Part of Me by Capital Sons. And until we meet again, take care, expand your comfort zone, do what you need to do to find the level of success you want in life, and then sit down, plan it out, go for it. And as always, just learn as you go. Learn from your successes, learn from your failures, keep on growing, keep on expanding, and step outside that comfort zone. Okay, we'll see you all later. This is Better Part of Me by Capital Sons. Thanks for dropping by, and God bless.
Pulled me down when the currents were far too strong. Now I need you one more. But I'm lower than the ground, and I'm quickly slipping down. Running so fast I've left myself behind, caught up in things that I know you won't like. But if I could see you just one more time, I know that you would help me recognize a better part of me.